The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA network, and welcome to my review show here of Impact Wrestling 1000, week number 2, from September 21st, 2023, at the Westchester County Center in White Plains, New York. This is technically the 1001st episode of Impact Wrestling. But before I crack on with the review, you know that we don't usually review Impact Wrestling. So we're only doing this because Impact Wrestling, this is like, you know, a big deal. This is their 1000th episode of Impact Wrestling and the celebration of that. So we thought we'd cover it on the channel. Like we do when there's like an NXT special or things of that nature, where there's a special show, like maybe the Raw after WrestleMania, etc., then we're going to cover things like that on this channel. But usually we just do the pay-per-views, right? Well, there's something really important that I want to talk to you all about, and you can look in the description here on YouTube. We have our Patreon, the Slam Society. Now, what I want, before you click further to skip to the review, just please stick with me here. It's only $3 a month. And every single week in there, if you enjoy our reviews, you will get reviews of NWA Power, NXT, NXT Level Up, WWE Main Event, Impact Wrestling, and MLW Fusion. So there's quite a few extra reviews you can get if you enjoy our reviews here on the WZWA network, on the WZWA Slam Society, brother. Yeah. So, you know, look, I just wanted to put it out there. It's only $3 a month. There's like, I don't know, 30 cents a day, maybe. I don't know. My maths isn't very good, but, you know, it would be really helpful to have a revenue stream coming our way. We're nearing our 4th birthday here on the WZWA network. And not only would you get those extra reviews, but we do reaction videos that are too hot for our YouTube, aka like they probably wouldn't pass, you know, you know what I'm talking about, the copyright and all that stuff. So that's going to be on there. We have little extras of our video game playthroughs that are going to be put on there. So, you know, there's lots of extras on there that you don't get here on our YouTube, because we're basically putting out, you know, an edit or a video every single day of the week. So we have all this extra stuff. So we want you to pay for it, but only a little bit. $3 a month. It's nothing, man. So anyway, there we go. I've done my hard sell on it. You know, it'll mean a lot to us. That's what I'm trying to say. But anywho, we start the show here, Impact Wrestling's 1001st episode, with highlights of last week's, and we're continuing the celebrations for the 1000th episode this week, as I've already said. We start things off with the Ultimate X match. Richard Swann, Samuray del Sol, Mike Bailey, Zachary Wentz, Ace Austin, and Alan Angels. Cracks open beer. So, of course, we can't get out of an occasion like this without a match of this type. You know, I didn't realize Zachary Wentz was the former Nash Carter, who was the former tag team partner of Wes Lee in NXT. Good to see he's getting some work now after the debacle of his WWE release. This match, of course, was what you would expect, full of scenarios where people could jump onto other people. They all, again, spent most of the match on the outside of the ring, most of the match, you know, just like the Feast or Fired match from the week before. Everyone's on the outside of the ring most of the match, and I'm just a bit confused by it. Like, what? Like, I think I watched, was it a Battle Royal with AEW recently, or whatever it was? Most of the time, everyone was on the outside of the ring, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Get in the ring!" It's just mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. I don't know where this came from when you have these multi-man matches and everyone's on the outside. Anyway, another thing that was bugging me is they all kept seemingly climbing the same, what's it called? Truss, whatever you called it. Tom Hennigan. Hannafin, sorry, Hennigan. Just forget it. Yeah, like each corner, like 4 people are climbing it at the same time. I'm like, why would anyone do that? Why would anyone do that? So, you know, this was you know, This was interesting, I guess, in a way, because like when you go into this, you weren't really sure who was going to win, right? Finally, Samuray Del Sol did something that made sense and climbed from a different corner. Well done, mate. This was all set up to look like this could be anybody's, all of them climbing across the cables at the same time, looking for that big X. Wentz, sorry, what's his first name? Fuck me. Zachary. Let's call him Zachary, not Wentz or Wentz. Zachary was the story of the match, essentially, by taking people out with his spray paint, spraying people in the eyes. Bailey was hanging upside down alone for an awful long time. Zachary ended up getting Ace Austin taken out with more spray paint to the eyes. Like shit, Ace Austin. It was down to Bailey and Alan Angels as we get our predictable fan chants. Angels managed just to grab the X, and I'm glad he won because it was something different. Not a bad match, but you know me, I'm not a real big fan of that style. You know, they did a real specky thing early in the match where three of them were on one of the big poles, whatever you call it, big structures on the corner. Three of them climbing, and they all looked at each other and they all did moonsaults at the same time onto guys that just happened to be standing there. It's specky, but come on, man. Angels cuts a promo about being the front man of the X division and cashes it in for next week against Chris Sabin. So there's a good chance he's not winning that, let's be honest. Sabin just won the belt last week. So anyway, coming up, singles match, Dirty Dango with Alpha Bravo at ringside taking on Jake something. This match is the one that has the old graphics, the scrolling bar at the bottom, and the old Fox Sports Net TNA Impact throwback of having a guest judge for the match because it's got a 10-minute time limit. It happens to be former Impact Tag Team Champion from the Naturals, Chase Stevens. As an old fan during that era, I have to be honest, like I really appreciate the effort here to give a nod to these days because I, have really fond memories of those times as a TNA wrestling fan. Alpha Bravo got involved during this. It accidentally knocked Dango out, and then Jake hit the Into the Void for the win with 6 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in the match. One thing I'm popping for, though, Chase Stevens, I kept cutting back to him. He did a sterling job putting that headset on and pretending to analyze who would win the match if it would have hit the time limit. I love the way he was pretending. It's really good stuff. That's like my favorite thing with wrestling. Just stupid. Steve Macklin's backstage cutting a promo on Rhino after Rhino cost him one of his briefcases from the Feast of Fire match last week, threatening him. And then after the threats were taking place in Rhino's career, Rhino screamed, "Macklin!" and gored him through some equipment. And they went just crashing through all these, big, those big black tubs and boxes that they have backstage. They should have had monitors fall off those tubs onto Santino Marella, the director of authority, because he came out and reprimanded Rhino for what he did. And then, Rhino should have walked away from that situation after maybe getting in Santino's face. And then they should have cut to Santino and he should have said that he just felt threatened for his life. That would have been so good. I wish I was there and be like, come on, guys, it's right here. It's right here. We can take the piss out of Tony Khan right here. I thought my life was on the line there, Rhino. Anyway, let's move forward. Singles match, Eric Young with Scott D'Amore taking on Kenny King with Sheldon Jean. Team Canada throwback with Eric and Scott. Of course, Bobby Roode and P. Williams can't be at this show. And I mean, let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. Bobby Roode hasn't done anything in a while. The tag team that he had with Dolph Ziggler was pretty good, but he has not done anything in a while. Dolph is gone. Just saying, man. Like, I don't think things really worked out the way that I thought that they might work out for Bobby Roode in the WWE. I really thought he might have been a top guy there, honestly. I after seeing him as, TNA World Champion at that time, it really kind of just... I thought that he had the it factor, but I guess they saw differently. But if anything, man, I think Bobby, if he gets released, or Robert Roode, it would be glorious, because he could then go back to Impact Wrestling and finish his career in a place that's really going to give him at least like that good final run, like Frankie Kazarian's enjoying right now. You know what I mean? Instead of just doing nothing, come back, do something fruitful for a while. Anywho, Sheldon attacks Eric Young very early on in the match. And Scott D'Amore comes in and hits one of them with a hockey stick, which has the Canadian flag on it. We got a DQ here, folks, but here comes Shark Boy, the deputy director of authority for this show. He makes it a tag team match. Give me a shell, yeah. But no, you know what? It was cool that they brought Shark Boy back for these episodes, and they had to think of something for him to do. So you know what? I think that's cool that they did this with him, even if he definitely has a bit of a beer belly now. You can't blame him, bro. Look at him. Look at him and look at me, okay? Tag team matches made out of this, thanks to Shark Boy, as I just said. Kenny King, Sheldon Jean versus Team Canada. Comically, immediately, Big Con and Deonna of the Design attack Team Canada. Another DQ. Shark Boy then said, It makes it an 8-man tag team match as he introduced Team Canada's partners, and we've got another America's Most Wanted reunion. So 8-man tag, AMW, Chris Harris, James Storm, Eric Young, Scott D'Amore, Team Canada against the Design, Deonna and Con, and Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. I love that they had to fuck around just to get to this. You know what? It's E for effort, but what are the odds? What are the odds? America's Most Wanted happened to be there behind the scenes in their gear, ready to go, warmed up. What are the odds? I love taking it too seriously with pro wrestling. Anyway, Chris Harris and James Storm come out looking cool as hell in their fresh gear. This is the nostalgia that I was looking for. I kept thinking of where James Storm has been in the last few years. Because he seemed to be like doing stuff for the NWA. Then he seemed to be back in Impact Wrestling. And my friend Kevin actually said to me the other day, he said that, where's James Storm? What happened to James Storm? So I don't know what's going on, if he's winding his career down or whatnot, but it was cool seeing he and my good friend, Mr. Chris Harris, together again. You can check out my exclusive interview with Chris on the Insider's Edge podcast on this channel. Scott D'Amore with some more surprising work out there, getting a sweet knee drop. Con got in there for a bit of heat, but again, the way they positioned him in this company, the big man can't keep it together, it seems. Eric Young gave him a big-time Death Valley driver. You know what? I'd like to see Con maybe win a few squash matches coming soon. I don't know why they can't keep making, Impact Wrestling Explosion and make that a YouTube-only show or something like that. It would be good to see some guys get a few wins here and there. That's all I'm trying to say. Eric Young, he's in control here. We get a hot tag. Chris Harris comes flying in, hits a flying clothesline. It was massive, and he had a lot of pace when he came off the ropes for that clothesline. And I thought to myself, good stuff, bro. I know he's kind of retired now, but it was cool seeing Chris go out there and, show he's still got it. Same with James Storm. He was great. D'Amore hit a sky high on Sheldon Jean, followed by a big-time Eric Young pile driver for the victory. That was fun. We're getting a lot of happy endings here on these episodes here for Impact 1000. We see Team 3D's post reunion live promo from last week's show as the fans showed their appreciation. Feast or Fired ceremony with host Dave LaGreca from Busted Open Radio. Dave LaGreca to present this segment to find out who gets a title shot out of the 4 cases that you get for Feast or Fired, and who gets fired from one of the 4 Feast or Fired briefcases. So 3 get a title shot, either digital media, world, or tag team. No X Division, because we had the Ultimate X match. Thank you. And 1 person gets fired. So Dave asked them all what they're looking for. Apparently, they all wanted a tag title shot. And by who I'm talking about Yuya Uemura, with Joe Hendry there with him from the tag team. Joya! The ABC with Chris Bay and Ace Austin, Moose and Brian Myers, the most professional wrestling gods or whatever they're called. And then there's Crazy Steve. So they all wanted a tag title shot, but the Crazy Steve said he was hoping for a heart or a liver. And his giggle was very creepy, but very entertaining. As everybody in the room was creeped out by it. I like it. I like it a lot. Steve opens his briefcase, and what do you know? He gets a digital media title opportunity. I fucking knew that was going to happen. And then he kept on repeating, and the world was full of dreamers. And the world was full of dreamers. Tommy Dreamer's the digital media champion, you know what I mean? Moose gets a world title shot, as he should, as you do. Chris Bay and Ace get the tag title opportunity. Oh, God. Please. I know what that match looks like, okay? I already watched them have a match. Them and fucking the Rascals. It means by process of elimination after this, Yuya Uemura is apparently about to get fired. Some very solemn music played in the background as Yuya was devastated, whilst his tag team partner in Joya Joe Hendry consoles him. It was kind of funny how the music suddenly got all solemn like that. I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to like find a way to get him reinstated or something. That'd be kind of bullshit though, wouldn't it? That would be kind of bullshit. But they just started this Joya tag team, so fuck me. Coming up next, singles match. Josh Alexander, the walking freaking weapon, taking on Trey Miguel with Zachary Wentz at ringside. Two of Impact Wrestling's most valuable players of the last few years, bro, taking each other on in the next match. I was happy to hear Josh Alexander get in the PWA 500 top 10 this year. I believe he got number 8. But even if most of the list was confusing as all shit, you mean to tell me that if some ladies out there had intergender wrestling matches, that they somehow managed to get on this list? Well, what about the guys that had intergender matches? Do they get to be on the ladies list? Because I think that's bullshit. I would want to see, like, I don't know, Neil Diamond Cutter. I know he does a lot of intergender wrestling. I know Nick Gage has done it. I think he dropped the GCW World title to Masha Slamovich. I want to see those guys on the women's list, because I just think it's stupid, man. It's stupid. Why is Masha Slamovich 15 out of 500 men? Why is she number 15? Because she won the GCW World title. What? I'm sorry, but that's just stupid. Because if you can't have the men on theirs, then they shouldn't be on the men's. It's as simple as that. It's so moronic. I know it's a kayfabe thing. It's a kayfabe list. It looks at wins and losses and you know how many times you retained whatever the shit is. If you how long his title reign was, the prestige behind your matches, whatever, right? But I'm sorry, you can't do that and not do the other. Just keep the men and women separate, please, for the love of God. Unbelievable, man. The list already doesn't make much sense, and you're gonna make it worse like that? Come on, dude. Someone sees Billy Starks' name in there in like the top 100 or whatever, and they don't see like Rhea Ripley, they're going to be like, what the hell, man? Like, what? Because people are stupid and don't think that it's maybe because of intergender thing. Just don't do it, dickheads. Okay. Miguel got dominated early by Josh before getting the advantage thanks to his co-tag team champion, Zachary Wentz. Josh hit this amazing German suplex that, you know, the moonsault bump where they go over and then they moonsault onto their stomach. Fantastic stuff. An amazing reversal of the Meteora into the ankle lock from Josh Alexander. I saw it coming, bro. I saw it coming, but it looked great. Zachary got involved again before Alex Shelley attacked him, surprisingly. But then from there, it was all mathematical as the C4 spike from Josh looked sick on Trey Miguel, and Josh gets the win. Why did I write Josh retains? Josh retains nothing. That should say Josh wins. Why am I correcting it? Josh and Alex Shelley then had a confrontation on the mic where Josh informs Alex he's challenging him for Bound for Glory for the Impact World Championship. Very nice. I like it. I knew that was going to be the match. Had to be. I wonder if Moose will be inserted into that. Anywho, Will Ospreay versus Mike Bailey is announced for Bound for Glory. Mike Bailey's sitting down by himself after not winning the Ultimate X match. I don't know what he's doing, if he was untying his boots or whatever, even though that match was like hours ago. Jonathan Gresham shows up and sits down, and they have a little chin wag, and it soon seems that like Jonathan Gresham sat down to be a prick to him. Like he started cutting him. Oh man, like not real deep, but like just giving him shit. And then Mike Bailey gave him shit back. And I'm like, this is a very unrealistic conversation. Because they ended up just antagonizing one another. You know, I love how pro wrestling works like that. Bailey suggests a match between the two of them and booped Gresham on the nose as he said it. And Gresham accepted it, and that will happen next week. I liked the boop on the nose, man. That was really, really condescending. Well, who are these people? The Rascals have a situation with one half of the Good Hands, who reveals that they helped the Rascals with the tag titles in exchange for a future title shot. Well, I never. At least they're not sitting down against a wall eating pizza in the middle of a hallway. No one would do that. So at least this week, they're just sitting there backstage after having, you know, that situation with Josh and Alex Shelley. As this argument's going on, the Rascals are telling the guy from the Good Hands, I don't know which one it is, I'm sorry, everyone. What are the odds? The ABC interrupts, wielding their briefcase. Hey, look what we've got. Tag title shot. Just so happens that you guys are talking about tag title shots, and we walk in. Oh. They talk about getting a title shot before the Good Hands do, and then the Good Hand guy turns to get confirmation from the Rascals that, you know, the Good Hands are going to get the shot, and they've already left the room. So funny stuff. Next week on Impact, Saban will takes on Angels for the X Division title. Dreamer and Heath take on Kenny King and Sheldon Jean in a Memphis street fight. Mike Bailey, of course, against Jonathan Gresham, and Yuya Uemura has his farewell to Impact ceremony. They only just found out. Hang on. They only just found out there's only been one match and one backstage thing, that he just found out that Yuya Uemura is getting fired, and they've already planned a farewell ceremony. That is amazing, dude. Get fucked. Oh, wrestling. Coming up next, the main event of the evening here, the 10 Knockouts tag team match. Angelina Love with Velvet Sky, Deonna Purrazzo, Gisele Shaw with Jai Vidal or Jay Vidal at ringside, Savannah Evans and Tasha Steelz. Interesting that Steelz and Savannah Evans were having to team together. It only just dawned on me now that they were at odds with one another not too long ago. Now Tasha's already a heel again, it seems. Shit on me. Shit on my skull. Awesome Kong with Raisha, Saeed, Gail, Kim, Jordynne Grace, Mickie James, and Trinity are the opponents. We're celebrating the history of TNA, and there's somebody called Trinity in a match, and it's not the actual original Trinity from the original TNA, who, I'm sorry, was the original TNA knockout. No disrespect to Tracy Brooks, okay? But I was very excited to see Kong and Gail wrestle again. The ladies are making their entrance, and there's guys just reaching over the guardrail for a high five. It's like, get over it, bro. Get over it. What do you want? You're grown men. You're grown men and you want high fives. Kids, I get it, but the beautiful people make their entrance to their theme song. It just pops me. It's such a skanky and sexy song. I always found that entrance to be hilarious, to be honest, because they're just telling the cameraman to shoot, but to take a shot of like their butt and beyond. By the way, it's not just that; it's like that whole area, the area there. It's fuck me. It feels weird in 2023 seeing stuff like that. It's almost like you're looking around to see if anyone else can see that you're staring at essentially two vaginas in the space of 15 seconds. Oh dear. Anyway, for those playing at home, by the way, Angelina Love actually appeared on today's Ring of Honor on Honor Club as well. So maybe not as big of a deal as Rick Rude on Raw and Nitro, but again, that's interesting. So anyway, first note is this: are you serious? I really don't like Jordynne Grace's hair being curly. I've said this before. I just don't think it suits her. I don't know what it is, man. It's something about that frizzy curly hair. It just makes me think like, I don't know, like you never had like one of those teachers in like elementary school or primary school, wherever you're from in the world. And yeah, that one teacher was a real fucking mole. That's what it makes me think of. I'm not saying Jordynne Grace is a mole. I'm just saying the hair, the curly hair, the frizzy curly hair makes me think of women who are a fucking mole. Anywho, Mickie gets her shine on Tasha Steelz and Deonna. I think we were all excited for Kong to get in there, though. It's kind of like, all right, ladies, like we've been watching you all year. Let's bring in Gail and Kong. Come on. So Gail got the hot tag. She still looks good. She still got it. But there was one thing that fucking happened here. I don't know what went wrong. I don't know if Velvet grabbed the wrong leg of Gail Kim. I don't know if Gail Kim was supposed to fall on her back that way, or she was supposed to fall face first onto the ring apron. I don't know what went wrong. Velvet Sky grabs Gail Kim's leg. She pulls her off the ring apron. Gail kind of twists in midair, and her head just smacked so hard into the floor. And you know that floor, it's got like a thin mat over concrete, dude. Like it's not like the outside area that WCW and all that had back in the day was like squishy. It's like hard, and she just smacked her skull on it. And I was like, shit, that was messed up, man. And a quick Google search, she said she was rattled. So thankfully, she hopefully didn't get a concussion, because that looked like it could knock anyone out, really. She soldiered on very impressively, doing some things that, if you were rattled, mate, then I'd like to see you at your 100% best. Kong finally gets the hot tag and starts laying waste to some of the ladies here. It breaks down to the usual thing we expect. Gail with a big like crossbody, like from jumping the other direction. Great stuff. Onto a pile of knockouts on the outside. Then the smoke clears. Kong is going to destroy Gisele Shaw for the win. She choke slams her. You could tell Kong probably can't take any bumps at the moment, because I don't think she really did. And yeah, she didn't do a whole lot, but what she did do, it was effective. You know, this is how you protect people, make sure that they still look good. She had the implant buster. That's a great move. That's a great name for the move. And I've just realized why it's called the implant buster. Because she's targeting women who've got fake tits. Very good, very good. It took me this many years to figure that out. What an idiot. But then again, it took me about 30 years to figure out why that band's name was the Doobie Brothers. I thought their surname was actually Doobie. What an idiot. At least I'm not Juicy Boy, though. He's a real idiot. Anyway, they win. Team Kong, Kim, James, Trinity. They get the victory here. Big win here for the main event of the 1001st episode of Impact Wrestling. We end the show with Angelina Love hitting a super kick on Jay Vidal, who gets paper bagged by the beautiful people. I guess they're gonna get that, you know, that they're turning babyface just at the end of the episode there, because you know you want them, you know, they're legends. You know, you want them to be seen in a good light. Well, there we have it, everyone. We go off the air, and that was a really cool episode of Impact Wrestling. I don't know. It was so cool seeing all these legends and like having this nostalgia trip with Impact. I really I had fun with that, but at the same time, you know, they were still building to stuff for the future and all that. I guess sometimes it kind of makes me feel a little sad that, like, you think of, like, we always talk about the good old days, don't we? And it's the good old days always seem to, like, the nostalgia and the just the good old days. That's why they're called the good old days, because like what we're living in now never feels like the good old days, but later down the line, you look back at that, you go, that was the good old days, you know? So, you know, when you watch something like this, sometimes you feel a little sad that wrestling's changed so much. So many people are no longer in the industry or are no longer with us that you watched for many, many years. So you know, you kind of sometimes come out of things like this with mixed feelings. But, you know, it was fun nonetheless. And I just kind of wish that we could retain some of these people, you know, to be in the company every week. But I'm guessing it's going back to the roster that they have. And with all these cuts coming from WWE at the moment, all these releases, who knows who's going to show up in the Impact Zone at some point, you know? Is you know, and I'm not going to crack the joke. I'm not going to crack the joke. But thank all of you out there for joining us here on the WZWA Network. Please, once again, the WZWA Slam Society, $3 a month. ProWrestlingTees.com. Our store is called Thunder Mifflin, like Dunder Mifflin from The Office. Thunder Mifflin, WCW Thunder Wrestling. We've got some t-shirt designs up there. We just sold another one the other day, so I think we need maybe another 18 or 19 sales, and then we can have unlimited designs up there. It's gonna be great. So there we have it. Thank you again, Karlifornia, WZWA Network. See you next time. Thank you.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.